Thank y'all for having me. Very excited to be here in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. The hospitality has been exceptional. You know, we have a huge challenge in front of us on Monday. You know, defensively, they do a whole lot of things that, you know, could cause a team problems. I feel that we prepared the last couple of weeks, you know, for the challenges that are ahead of us. You know, our practices have gone well. Again, the players and coaches, you know, we feel like if we go out and do the things that we need to do, we should have a chance to win this football game.
Great. Questions?
Lonnie, style-wise, do they remind you of anyone?
You know, they're a mix on defense. You know, they play 4 down, 3 down, so a lot of the teams that we have played in the Big 12 do some of the same stuff. They play a lot of man coverage stuff that we've seen on tape. So, you know, I think, you know, from the looks that we've seen throughout the Big 12 and then just studying them over the last, you know, 3 or 4 weeks, I think that they compare to a lot of the teams that we played.
With Kevin, it was kind of a tale of 2 seasons for him. How much of that was injury or health related? How much of that was defenses adjusting and making a point of shutting him down?
I mean, as far as Kevin being injured, you know, Coach Hogerson will discuss any of those injury questions, but, you know, Kevin is 100%. You know, he had his ankle taped in the Iowa State game. A couple of the games he didn't, you know, he went for 7 100-yard games straight, and then a couple, you know, teams tried to play, you know, a couple people over top of him. And, you know, if you're doing those things, if you can recall the Texas Tech game, they played a little bit of it, and that's when Jordan Thompson had the 100-yard game. Mario had a 100-yard game. So, you know, we'll be prepared for whatever they try to do, you know, get a look at it and see what they're trying to, how they're trying to attack us and how we're going to try to attack them.
Coach, I know that Tate's not playing in Monday's ball game, but his football career is not over, is it? I mean, from what I understand, a pretty good head on his shoulders and probably a pretty good coaching candidate.
I would say so. With his dad, you know, the background that Coach Trickett has, and, you know, Clint's been around football most of his life, so I'm sure that'll be something that, you know, that he'll pursue. You know, we wouldn't be where we are now without Clint, you know, early in the season, you know, doing the things that he did for us. And, you know, Kevin and all the offense is very appreciative of the things that, you know, he helped us accomplish so far this year.
Like Roy Cook talked about trying to roll in additional offensive linemen, as you guys had the last couple games. He wanted to find at least 2 and maybe 3. Do you think you have 2 or 3?
I think so. Tony Matteo, you know, came in and played, and, you know, Stone came in and played. So it'll be one of those things where if some of the guys need a break or, you know, we want to mix up something, you know, feel comfortable with those guys going in. You know, Tony played the whole game and, you know, against Iowa State.
Lonnie, with rapport between quarterback and receivers in this offense being so important, how much progress do you think you made since the last game, and is there a percentage or you know, between where it is now and where it could be?
Well, with Skylar, I mean, you know, that's the thing with, you know, from last year was, you know, we played a lot of quarterbacks. You know, this year Clint solidified himself as a starter. You know, Skylar was still there, so I mean, it's not so much of Kevin and our guys and offensive line trying to figure out who the guy's going to be, but Skylar got to participate a lot. So Skylar's not new, you know, to us. You know, he was competing very hard for the job. So Kevin and the guys, Mario and the whole, you know, all the wideouts are too used to him. So, I mean, in the last couple of weeks, just preparation with him being the main guy and throwing the ball to him. So I think we'll be okay.
Talk about his comfort level with the receivers, and it seemed like towards when he got his shot and Skylar got his shot, really quickly formed a bond with Mario. Jordan had a couple big catches there, and just kind of how that has developed.
Just, you know, it's just through the weeks of practice. You know, if Clint was down doing what we call inside runs, Skylar would be down with us doing one-on-one. So the thing that Skylar has always done very well is prepared himself to be the starter. You know, some quarterbacks get frustrated with, you know, I'm not the guy, and then something happens and now I am the guy. And that's one of the things I think where Skylar helped himself. You know, he prepared himself you know, with the guys, timing and doing stuff always after practice with some of the wideouts to make sure that things were in hand.
Lonnie, the first 2 days of practice were apparently pretty good. Today was a little bit, I guess, not as dry as the past. Did that affect anything, and how was today?
No, the day was great. I mean, we got there and they worked out a little bit, and then I put my rain suit on and we went outside and did our normal Thursday practice, and the guys were bouncing around. They know on Thursday that, you know, there's a certain amount of plays that we do, and they were ready to get out of the rain, so they were bouncing around.
Talking about teams shutting down, or not shutting down, but trying to shut down Kevin, and the importance of other people stepping up. Can you speak to that a little bit more, and how important it will be if A&M does make a point of trying to take Kevin away from you guys to have the rest of your receivers step up?
You know, one of the things, if you're trying to take Kevin away, obviously the other guys got to step up, but hopefully we can go in and establish a running game, and, you know, whether or not you're going to play cover 2, cover 1, you know, those type of things, double Kevin, you know, we'll need to be able to run the football. Obviously, you know, Mario, DeKill, Jordan, you know, they'll need to be able to, you know, come up with some big plays. And, I mean, it's happened to us a couple times. So, you know, Kevin is very excited, and he's up to the challenge. And, you know, if they want to double him, then, you know, still got to figure out ways how to get him the football.